Welcome back to Survived by Loss, a podcast providing a voice in the dark, where we hear stories about erasing the gray and ending cycles. I'm Haley, and I will be your host. If you made it through the trailer, you'll know from now on this podcast will be one giant trigger warning. Before we dive into today's episode, I would like to say the following content may contain sensitive topics or discussions that could potentially evoke strong emotional responses or discomfort. I encourage you to prioritize your mental health and proceed with caution. If you find yourself feeling distressed at any time, please remember that it's okay to pause or stop listening. Your well being is incredibly important to me. Remember, you're not alone and support is available. Here we will talk about loss and every single kind. You'll hear my personal stories as well as people that I know and love, and hopefully one day this will inspire you to talk about something you have lost with all of us. My goal is for this to be a safe space to share, a place to let go, to find people to add to your list so you know you aren't alone in your time of healing. Oh my goodness. Here we are on episode 4. What did we think about episode 2? I can't tell you how many messages I got telling me how much my mom and I sound alike, which is so funny to me because I don't think we sound alike at all. I'm a very good mix of my mom and dad, thankfully. However, my mom does shine through in a lot of ways. I wanted to do a super quick little recap in the episode featuring my mom. We went over a brief summary of some of the things she's gone through. We touched on the loss of my uncle on my dad's side, my dad's passing, and mainly focused on the loss of our sweet Jay. What I love about sitting down and having a conversation with my mom is there were things that after 16 years we had never talked about. Jason was such a heavy weight that was never lifted from her shoulders, and honestly was something that felt very hush hush. Being a little older, I can understand what the weight of his loss really means, what it feels like to carry it for so many years, what it's like for memories to fade, realizing what's to come while going through the things that he'll never be a part of throughout our lives, and how it affected us in different ways. What's crazy is there's so much more that was not mentioned. My mom is pretty incredible. I wouldn't be here without her. She has consistently been my reason to wake up most days. She deserves light, love, and happiness. And even on the days I don't think I have it in me to help bring those to her, I try to find a way. She's endured more than anyone should in their lives. And what about Chanel? Ugh, I love her more than I could ever put into words. The strength it took to talk about the loss of one of her best friends, her mom, Grandpa Dave, and just 5 days after her 12-year-old son ended his life early, was willing to sit down and talk through what it felt like in the moment. It takes an indescribable amount of strength and determination to be able to speak about a loss in general, let alone the loss of your only child just days after finding him. Every time I talk to Chanel, I am in awe. For someone who's lost so much, she's always been able to be there for me. Thick and thin, good and bad, ups and downs. She calls, she texts, she gives even when she may not have enough to give. To me, Chanel is a pillar of strength and a beacon of unwavering support. A best friend who feels like family, even when we're not bound by blood. She stood by me through the toughest moments, offering comfort and understanding during the darkest hours. She selflessly provided my needs over her own. Most importantly, she loved me without conditions, embracing every aspect of who I am with open arms and an open heart. I'm not sure what I did in life to deserve Chanel. All I know is she is an irreplaceable presence in my life forever and always. These two amazing women have so much to offer, so much love and support, a journey in life that has broken them more times than they've been mended. If you looked up the definition of determination in the dictionary, their desire to be better in every single moment moving forward in life would be listed. As hard as I try to put into words what they mean to me, what they have added to my life, the ways they have saved me so many different times, I don't think I could ever do it justice. How do you put into words that someone is a reason you get up in the morning? Maybe one of these episodes I'll actually be able to figure out how to tell you. Jumping into it, here I am, 11:30 p.m. on a Friday night, sitting at my desk thinking about all the ideas I had for this episode, wondering if I should have Chanel or Angie back on. Do I invite someone new? Do I talk about me? Maybe I write a whole episode about how amazing Lux is, what she's done for me in such a short time. Is this the time I talk about my dad? Do I make a 50-parter? I think talking about him would need to be 100 episodes easy. Am I ready for that? Do I go into more family that has passed? Maybe talk about the freaking Sylvester genes I was given? Do I talk about my grandma Hama, who very much created the desire for perfection in my dad? Do I talk about my Maki, the most talented artist who made my life better by forcing me to be creative, even though I never thought I could be good enough? Maybe I talk about my journey, touch on the trailer and this mystery loss that's been the biggest change I've ever had in my entire life. Do I talk about work and what I learned at each job? What broke me? What is healing me? I I guess I could talk about my current job, about all the calls that have become my new normal, how one person says I'm terrible at my job, have no compassion, and need to find a new career, or about the 5 minutes someone took to tell me that hearing me on the line when they were fighting to stay afloat was the voice in the dark they needed to stay present until help arrived. Maybe I talk about my inner child, what she wished life could be. Do I talk about how I'm feeling now? That even though life is the best it's been in a very long time, I'm feeling lost, a little alone. Do I just record, not write something and ramble for 40 minutes, hoping you're willing to sit and listen to it? Do I let what I've been feeling for the last little bit continue to feel heavy and throw up a writer's block? Who knows? Is this going to be a common theme? Not knowing where to start? Happiness, sadness, past, present, future, body image, insecurities, what I love, what I hate. It's like my brain's file room is a little hoarder house at the moment. Maybe I need to write an email to the office manager. Maybe I start there. To whom it may concern. I hope this email finds you well. I'm just going to come out and say it. I have a complaint. Your brain is a mess, and because of that, things are feeling heavier than they are. There's no reason the JSON file should be mixed with the desire for your business owner to be on the carnivore diet, but secretly like the physical suffering of not feeling good because at least it's feeling something. You know, since being happy is so unfamiliar and even more so uncomfortable, why are the best days and memories overlapping with survivor's guilt? Why do you want nothing more than to organize your files and crave a sense of relief, but not actually finish a full task? Why is order scary? Why do you make yourself suffer when there's no reason? Why do you focus on what you can't control? There's no need to obsess over things that take time to resolve. I'm not sure who I need to speak with in order to find the root of the issue, but I think we should figure it out today in this official, on the record, out in the universe, heard by many email to your owner. Let's start with the first apartment. Yes, that is you, past self. From baby to the beginning of this sentence, we have some things to talk about. Can we please work on finding your inner child? This all starts with her, and she deserves to know she's safe now. We aren't mad that she ran and hid or that she felt like she needed to disappear to be safe. I understand the trauma that was being shot in your direction, that you couldn't process what was happening at such a young age. I see now that you needed patience, that you needed to be loved unconditionally. I know it was scary, that your stomach was always full of knots. I know it felt like you didn't have the strength to pick through all the parts that hurt. When it got bad, I knew you weren't going to cry for help. You were asking for mercy. You wanted to know what it was to be a kid, to fight with your brother for years and years, to grow up with the only other person who could actually relate to the trauma that you went through, the only other person who knew what it was like to grow up in the same glass house. You wanted to be carefree. I still remember that day you were 15, laying face down on your mom's bed under a freshly washed comforter with your toes peeking out from under on purpose. You called for your mom to come in and find you, knowing that all she would be able to see is you, hiding. Like you were 5 again and were 100% positive you picked the best hiding spot. How you hoped that she would pretend she didn't see your feet, that you wanted to feel little again. You wanted to go back to a time before all of the scars, before you had to walk on eggshells in your home, before you understood how your parents' relationship was really going to affect you, before you learned that losing your sibling was only the first of many things to come. You didn't deserve to live in survival mode for years and years, no matter how much you think you did. If anything, I need to thank you. Thank you for finding the desire to survive all of these trials. Thank you for carrying us to this exact moment in life. Thank you for sitting in the quicksand, fighting, thrashing, begging to make it out, wishing, hoping, praying that if you could just reach that branch above, if you could just reach it for a moment, you could finally feel a sense of calm and work through how to get yourself out. Thank you for knowing the way out was to relax every fiber of your being, knowing there's a time to use your energy, your fight, your desire for life, for knowing deep down the only way out was to trust yourself, to know that when you felt unworthy, guilty, angry, that the people you love were the ones taken instead of you. When you saw others suffering, when you were suffering, that subconsciously in that dark, damp closet in the basement of the office that no one ever goes to, the one with the oddly thick layer of dust, in the furthest corner, the feeling you were meant to survive to save others was there, just waiting to be discovered. If I could heal your wounds, I would. If I could replace your suffering, I would. You deserve more than I could ever give you, and you did good. Your dad even said in the last note he ever left you, you light up any room you walk into. Everyone loves you, baby bird. Please try to remember that. Now to you, present self. You're not where you want to be, and that's okay. Everyone starts somewhere, and this is where you are right now. It doesn't mean you'll be here forever, because forever is a long time. What's crazy is, it doesn't even mean you're stuck. All it means is right here, right this second, with this specific letter you're typing now. It just shows you this is where you stand today. You have no idea how many lives you have impacted by existing. You have a big heart, and it's not wrong that you hate it sometimes. Because of your past, you overthink, over apologize, over explain, all while worrying too much about people who don't care about you. I know you feel forever guilty about things you can't control, but guess what? You may not always see a smile on people's face after they've been in your company, or how your energy impacts a difficult situation. One day, the people who have hurt you will realize that the kindest people are not born that way. They're made. Every loss turned into a lesson. They choose to soften when circumstances tried to harden them. You're not weak for crying, and you're not a failure for making a mistake. It's okay to feel alone, to be scared to let people in, that you fear you will never find someone who loves you as deeply as I love you. You don't have to solve your whole life overnight. There's no shame in where you are right now. It's all part of the journey of becoming everything you ever dreamed you would be. Slowly and lightly, your life story is written one letter at a time. You are capable. You consistently overcome hard things. Trust that all you imagined that is better is coming. Trust that you have more than what it takes to get there. Stop second guessing yourself. You know exactly what to do. And you're not alone. You'll never be alone again. I promise I will always be near you to catch you when you feel like you're falling. You are the one to save us all. It's easy to look to the past, to sit in the suffering. It's familiar, and I get it. I get it, but I need you. I can count on you. And I know that when you're ready and you've had enough, you will look forward and run. You will do everything you never thought you could. And from your future self, she can't wait to see it. Last, but surely farthest from the least, stubborn future self. I need you to promise to forgive yourself for the way you treated yourself in the past, for the way you talked to your body, for the way you hated how your mind works when you were dealing with depression, overthinking, or anything that haunted it. Forgive yourself for giving pieces of yourself away and settled for less than what you knew you deserved, wanted, or needed. Forgive yourself for thinking you were unworthy of happiness or goodness, for holding yourself back because you didn't believe in yourself and listened to others tell you that you'll never be able to accomplish what you set out to. Forgive yourself for all the things you didn't say, for all the times you didn't stick up for yourself, for all the times you sabotaged out of fear of what others would think of you. Forgive yourself for the way you never showed up for yourself. You define yourself by your struggles, but others define you by your soul. You might not be able to see beyond your fears, but others see the beautiful things you bring to the world. The way you laugh, the way you show up for others, even the lightness in who you are. Future self, I hope you're giving yourself the credit you deserve. I hope you're recognizing just how amazing you are for pulling yourself through each and every difficult time in your life. I hope you are remembering how capable you are, no matter how challenging something may be. You have the courage to keep moving, growing, and healing. And because I know you need to hear it, I'm so proud of you. And I really mean it. You deserve your own love. To all three of you. I hope one day you will be able to sleep in the silence and not have to drown out the noise. I hope you can close your eyes, actually rest, and no longer fear waking up to find another loved one gone. I hope you will see that the dark is not as scary as it once was, that life is ever changing and evolving. I hope you let go of the guilt of the what ifs. What if you looked your dad in the eyes the night before he took his own life, when he hugged you and said he loved you before he went to bed? There's no guarantee that that would have made him realize there was so much of your life that still needed him. There's no guarantee that if you told Jason you loved him one more time, that it would have been the right amount of times to make him rethink taking the pills that night. There's no guarantee that if you magically could accept and believe all the things you doubted in the past, that you would have gotten through life without ever wanting to end your life early. What if Jason was still here? What if Dad was still here? What if you never had to worry about food being hidden? Would you love your body? Would you be as overweight as you are now? Would you still be how you are now? Do you think if none of these losses happened, you could look in the mirror and feel any different than you do now? You deserve peace. You've fought hard enough for long enough. And I hope you take a step back and reflect on the things you have overcome. In a few short years, you've lived, loved, and lost more than most people do in their entire lives. I need you to be proud. I know everyone around you is. I just wish you could hear them cheering you on, wishing you comfort. Love, the better days.